Whether you're a new cruiser or you've been cruising for a while, you know that cruising is a great way to travel and a great way to vacation. However, cruising is evolving, and are there some things that might be ruining the experience? Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website LifeWellCruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, as cruising has gained more popularity, there are some people that say, you know what? There are a few things that are absolutely ruining the experience for me. Now, do not stress. This video is actually not all negative. A lot of things have to be taken with a grain of salt, but I did recently ask members of the LifeWell Cruise Facebook community, if you had to be picky, what are some things that might ruin your cruise? And to be honest, since there's a little bit of a hot topic brewing among the loyal cruise community, I thought this was a good chance to discuss this as well. Now, along with this, I am also going to share with you our next cruise reveal. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, bad weather and natural disasters. Now, of course, natural disasters are a bigger problem than bad weather, but people said hurricanes and really just even rain the entire cruise, that would definitely ruin the cruise experience. And I can vouch for that. I have been on a couple of rainy cruises just because it happened that way. It definitely does put a damper on things. Number two, too many upsells and upcharges. Now, I think especially for anybody who's been cruising for a long time with the mainstream cruise lines, you definitely would have noticed over the years that there are more potential extras. And I know for me, it doesn't bother me to buy extras before my cruise. I particularly like different bundles, and I will purchase shore excursions and different things, but it does actually annoy me. Like, you know, when you're sitting down at dinner and then you have like the crew coming around to sell you a specialty restaurant another night, or to sell you on some sort of spa package. I personally think that when you're sitting down for a meal, they shouldn't come around, but let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Bad passenger behavior. Now, there were so many comments about different bad passenger behavior that it did make me think about, it's not the cruise that's actually bad, but sometimes it's the other passengers you're sailing with. Now, truthfully, I still think that cruisers are some of the nicest people, but you know, people are still peopling. And so obviously some people are going to be maybe a little bit too intoxicated. Maybe some people are going to be, unfortunately, rude to the crew. Other people are going to be chair hogs. Other people are going to smoke where they shouldn't. And personally, I'm all for the crew fining or stopping anybody who does that. People who are very loud on balconies and unsupervised children. Number four, price increases. Now, I don't like price increases. I'm sure you don't like price increases either. And some people say, you know what? I cruised because they were such a good value. And when the cost increases, it makes cruises less appealing to me. And while I do agree with that, I don't like to pay more either, by the way. But one thing that I have noticed is what bugs me even more than paying a lot of money for a cruise is paying a lot of money for a hotel, because you get so little. Let me know if you feel that way as well. I should do an entire video about some of the horrible experiences I've had at hotels over the last couple of years. Sometimes I keep that to myself, but terrible. And it really does make me appreciate cruises even more. Number five, cost cutting. Now, I think that overall cost cutting has decreased over the last year or so, but definitely as we came out of the pandemic, we saw on some cruise lines that housekeeping was reduced from twice a day to once a day. I think a lot of people who watch this channel know that I really like twice a day housekeeping. That might have something to do with the fact that when I cruised when my kids were younger, we were 4 people in the cabin, and it was really important to me that the beds were actually tucked away during the day. And it felt like a little bit of luxury, the fact that we did have that turn down service. A lot of other things I can actually do without. You know, even when it comes to lobster night, I never thought the lobster was that good. So it doesn't actually bother me that on most cruise lines you don't have free lobster tails anymore. But I know for a lot of people that does. And then of course there are the other less seen, maybe less noticeable cost-cutting factors that people say, you know what, if they do it too much, that will ruin cruising for me. Now, don't worry, we are going to get to the hot topic that truth be told, when I asked this question a couple of weeks ago on Facebook, this didn't even come up. But now I have asked in my Facebook community about loyalty and what it means to you. And this definitely came up. So we are going to talk about that in just a minute. I'll also share my thoughts on that. But first, I did want to mention overcrowded ports, because that is something that a lot of people say, you know what? I love cruising. I love the ship, but I don't love to get off in overcrowded ports. And this is something that I did want to share with you. On our recent cruise, it was on Virgin Voyages. And by the way, if you haven't seen that video, it was pretty recent on my channel, so go check that one out. But many of the ports, we were actually the only ship or maybe two ships in port. And it was pretty nice because in most ports that sometimes can feel crowded, it was actually kind of a pleasure, even though I went to pretty touristy areas. So personally, I have no problem with cruise ships finding maybe new places to sail to, and even for the different islands and destinations that want to reduce the amount of people in the port per day. I think it might actually be a win-win for everybody. I hope that that's not a bad thing to say, but I do think maybe it is a better experience when things are not overcrowded. Number 7, speaking of things that for some people are ruining cruising, it is bigger and bigger ships. Now, of course, that is not everybody, because truthfully, the bigger ships offer so much for people. They offer great entertainment. They offer lots of choice for dining. And really, I do know a lot of people who absolutely love these bigger ships. And, you know, even for me, I love the variety on them. So that is definitely a factor. But you know what? MSC recently announced that they're actually going to be building a bigger ship than even Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas. And sometimes I do wonder, how big can these cruise ships get? But I guess as long as people are sailing on them, as long as people are enjoying them, there probably is no limit. But do let me know your own thoughts down in the comments below. Now, by the way, if you're planning a cruise, you want to make sure that you know all the ins and outs and that you do not forget a thing. I do have the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner. Now, the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner is a 47-page downloadable printable cruise planner that will help you to stay organized from the time that you book your cruise all the way through embarkation and even disembarkation. Now, it includes cruise packing list, cruise embarkation day checklist, cruise disembarkation day checklist. It includes cruise outfit planning forms, shore excursion planning forms, budget planning forms, and more. And the best part is that you can print out only the pages that you want for as many cruises as you go on. Now, I'll leave all of the information about the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner linked down below in the description of this video in case you do want to check it out. Too much tech. Some of you really miss the days that you turned your phone off and you had a vacation and you unplugged and you disconnected. And truthfully, you can still do that, but I completely get how things have changed, and it really is more challenging these days to do so. Between the cruise line app and QR codes and just regular life being more connected than we used to be, I completely get how there's a bit of a nostalgia for just completely unplugging. All right, without further ado, let's get to number 10. Then I do have a bonus for you, and then I am going to share with you what is our next cruise. I'm very excited for it. So, what can ruin cruising for you? Changes. And one of those changes is loyalty program changes. Now, of course, I think a lot of you know that Carnival Cruise Line has changed or is in the process of changing their loyalty program. And they're actually the first cruise line to make any major changes to their loyalty program. And it is possible, by the way, that from the time that I'm filming this until you're seeing this video in a couple of days, it is possible that there are already some changes because the reaction from people has not been positive, to say the very least. Now, I have to say, I am not somebody who has a high status on Carnival. I actually have, I think, my highest status on Princess Cruises. And while I do skip around a little bit, I do like loyalty perks. And it's funny, everybody's different, but for me, the loyalty perk of free laundry, to me, that's like the best perk. Maybe free drinks is actually better, but I'm probably going to bundle anyway if I can. But it's laundry. I don't know what it is, but for me, somebody else doing my laundry is definitely a perk on a cruise. But I totally get it. I think that a lot of us just don't like changes. And the idea that we have built up loyalty for a certain amount of time and then there's a very big change I definitely can see how that is a negative for a lot of people. Now, I do see some pros to this program, so I don't know if Carnival will be making some changes. I hope that they do based on feedback, and that is actually a little bit of positive that I have seen here is since this rollout, I have actually seen John Heald and as well Lee, the cruise line fleet director, at least really answering to people and hearing people about what their concerns are. So personally, I think that that is a good thing, but I could completely understand the people who say, you know what, if the cruise line is not going to be loyal to me, I'm not going to be loyal to them. Now, one thing that I do think is a positive, and again, I'm not somebody who has a high loyalty status on Carnival, so maybe I'm wrong about this, but personally, the idea that there is some amount of loyalty status that is tied to how much you spend on board, I don't think that that's a bad thing because I'm a Marriott Bonvoy member. And when we eat at a restaurant that's on site at a Marriott property, then we actually earn points towards our Bonvoy points. So I like that. So if there's a way that you could earn extra points by going to specialty restaurants or booking your shore excursions, if you're going to do that anyway, I don't think that that's a bad thing. As for the rest of it, I know a lot of you have higher loyalty status. So let me know your thoughts, how you think they could maybe change things that wouldn't bother you. They obviously have to make some changes as so many more people are getting higher loyalty statuses on Carnival and possibly other cruise lines. And I'm not starting any rumors. I have no idea, but it does seem like maybe there might be some changes coming even to some of the other cruise lines, at least at some point. Let me know your thoughts. All right, here's your bonus, and then I'm going to let you know about our next cruise. So what did a lot of people say? A lot of people said, you know what? Despite everything, even my little nits and picks, the glass is half full, and if I'm on a cruise, there is no need to complain. All right, so the next cruise, truthfully, it feels like I was just on a cruise, and I was. We were in the Mediterranean, but we're going to do almost the opposite cruise. In just a few days, we are going to be cruising to Alaska, and I think I shared this in a couple of videos in the past, but I didn't share the details. I'm so excited. We are going to be sailing with Princess. It is my first Princess Alaska cruise, my second Alaska cruise, and I know I am going to love it, but I cannot wait to sail with Princess. We are sailing from Seattle on Discovery Princess. So it is my first time going to Seattle. So please let me know anything that we should do in Seattle. I am going to fly in about a day and a half early. So I do have a little bit of time to get acclimated, and I have a little bit of time to discover some of the different sites and restaurants maybe in Seattle. So let me know any of your suggestions. And if you have sailed to Alaska, if you've sailed with Princess, let me know what I should expect. Please let me know down in the comments below. Now, just to let you know, this is actually a press or a media trip. I think there are other family cruise vloggers, so I'm actually pretty excited to meet some of the people. And I think that this is going to be a really great time. So let me know any of the questions you have about Alaska, about cruising with Princess, even any personal questions. Let me know any of that, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can in an upcoming video. Now, I'll leave the link to the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner down below in the description of this video, as well as a pinned comment. And I'd love to see more of you, so let's meet up in the next video. Catch you there.